And it's been a lively show already before the show. Mike, Max, Trent Tucker, the one and only Jim Carter, and Sid Hartman. Jim Carter, former Gopher and Packer fame, and for the first time on this show in the 20-year history, I have been outdressed. Look at this. Look at this.
That's what happens.
Look, you just got out of prison.
Don't start with me, Sid.
How'd you wind up with him?
Because we needed somebody to offset you.
Let me just tell you this.
Okay.
Here's a guy. He's out of the game because he broke his leg or something.
That wasn't me.
Now tell this story because I just heard this for the first time. They're playing Indiana and he gets in a fight.
You want me to tell the story?
First Sid's version.
Okay.
He revises history and then go.
All of a sudden, he's on the field with the crutches and they get in a fight. We all had to pull him away. He was going to get killed.
Okay, what happened, Jimmy?
Here's
Playing
the true
Indiana.
story. We're
Who's
playing
on crutches?
Indiana. I'm on the field. We get in a big fight. I take my helmet off and start swinging it, backing up, hitting people with it. Harry Gonzo, John Eisenberger, those guys. One of their co-captains, he was a big offensive tackle, was on the Indiana sideline. He had a broken leg, and he's on crutches.
Yep.
Pardon me. He sneaks out on the field. We could see it in the film. He takes a crutch and hits me over the head with it. I had just swung my helmet.
Oh, that's what's wrong with you.
Well, at least we got the story straight.
So he hits you over the head and life's never been the same? Or
That's
what?
exactly right.
And then what happened? In this day and age, that sounds like that'd be massive suspensions.
Oh, there were no suspensions, but they called the
No
game off.
suspensions?
There was only like a minute and a half left, and they said that's the end. Vern Gagne and a bunch of guys, it might have even been Sid. They all jumped on the field and ran out there.
It wasn't Sid if it was jumping around the field taking swings. Man, that wasn't Sid.
Sorry.
What was yours?
My side is he hit the guy over the head.
Jim did? Trent, that was a different time.
Now I found out he got hit on the head too.
So now it all makes sense, huh?
And since then, Jim Carter's been a different person.
The South St. Paul Flash.
I'll say one thing. He's got a nephew.
Adam
Carter, who was on the news department of the WCHO. He and my son are buddy. He's one of the greatest young kids I've ever met.
He does a great job.
I can't believe there can be one Carter like that, Adam Carter.
One like this.
And a real jerk like this guy.
You've heard it before, Jim.
That's the only reason I came on the show is because Adam asked me to do it. They couldn't get anybody to come on here. Trent said he'd do it, but I don't know his excuse.
I want to spend a little bit extra time talking about the Gopher situation because we got two former Gophers and one kind of former Gopher.
We were big buddies when he was at the university.
Oh, I know. You're big buddies with all these guys. You just like to kid them, and that's why it's fun. Yeah. Trent, what do you see? Let's start with Gopher basketball. What we saw yesterday was, the epitome of an embarrassment. 40-15, they're down half to Rutgers. Now you can say, well, they've lost 5 guys, 1 to injury, 4 to suspensions. But I don't know that this program, in some respects, has ever been lower.
Well, it's a tough situation right now at the university, and we all know that. And ending the season like they did yesterday was not a good thing for them. Even though, like you mentioned, they had a few guys here that were not on the team due to suspensions, and one guy left the team here or there. But you should not get beat by Rutgers like you did yesterday.
Rutgers had a 32-game Big Ten losing streak, just to give us some perspective. See what we're going to say?
I happen to like Richard Pitino. But what right did those guys have to sit on the bench?
I don't know. I don't know the semantics of the suspension and why they're sitting on the bench, or if I guess we're going to have to learn some more facts about it. But the point is, this program's in disarray.
Here's the thing: they got a chance to have a good team next year.
Okay, team. Don't give me this good.
They got 3 recruits that are very good.
We don't know that.
Coffey's
good.
Heck of a player, and the kid from Rochester is outstanding.
I saw him. I was down there watching him. I've watched these guys. You haven't.
What'd you think of him?
He's going to be okay, but it's going to take him some time because he's thin.
Well, everybody likes him.
Yeah, he's like Michael Bauer, if you remember Michael Bauer.
His brother is better than he is.
He's a freshman. Yeah, they lost to Lakeville North the other night.
So you like Pitino. You said you like him personally. What's that got to do with it? Don't you think they should get another basketball coach? Do you think they should keep him?
$7 million buyout.
So what? They waste more money over there at the university. Would you rather do that and pay out his $7 million, or keep having the stands empty, people not coming to the game, getting beat by Rutgers, who hasn't won in 32 games in the Big Ten?
Yeah.
It's criminal.
What breaks my heart is Tubby Smith was one of the greatest people I've ever met in my life. I loved him. And he's proven what he's a good coach. He's doing a fantastic job. There was no reason whatsoever to fire Tubby Smith. Tubby Smith not only was a great coach at Minnesota, but he did so many things in this city for charity and everything else, and that broke my heart.
Well, excuse me.
What did you think of Tubby? Should they have kept him?
Well, anytime a guy goes to the NCAA tournament, you know, to me, there's no real reason to move on from him. It seems like that he was moving the program in the right direction, and we all know what Tubby Smith had done before he came to the University of Minnesota, and it seems like his program was beginning to move forward, but when the new guy comes in, he's going to make his own decision.
And I don't know if Tubby was getting it there quick enough or not, but he won they've only won one NCAA tournament game since 1997. That's not good. Jim, go ahead.
The problem, as I see it, and there's many of them over at the university, and Sid, you've been around a long time, you know it better than anybody. The Board of Regents have no control over what happens in the athletic department, and yet the athletic department is the front porch of the university. With all the medical research, with all the good work at the law school, with all the diversity work going on at the university, the front porch, the thing guys talk about and girls talk about at breakfast every day at their local coffee shop, is Minnesota sports. And yet the Board of Regents does not even have an oversight committee for sports for the athletic department at the University of Minnesota. The article this morning, Amelia Reyno did a nice job about Patino, but again she mentions that, she quotes the chair of the Board of Regents, Dean Johnson, about, well, he thinks $7 million is a lot of money to pay out for Patino. Johnson got nothing to do with it. Those regents don't get involved.
Well, they should have if they're the board of directors,
They should have,
right?
but they don't. They don't even have a committee to talk about athletics. President Kaler and the people in his office, Liz Ewell, Amy Phoenix, his two lieutenants, those folks make the decisions. And then they go on to talk this $7 million with Patino on his buyout. You're going to try to tell me that President Kaler didn't know that Teague offered him $7 million?
He sure better have.
Well, yeah, but everything you read in the paper says that was Teague's last
That's
move.
right.
President Kaler had to know about it.
But
I hope he knew
that
about
makes
it.
this university look like a joke, Jim.
Well, all my friends all around the country call me and say you're the laughing stock. I mean, it doesn't feel very good. I don't know if it happens to you, Trent, but Tom Van Arsdale, great basketball player at Indiana,
Sure.
the Twins, he called me the other day. He said, I'm laughing at you because your Gophers are so pitiful.
The thing is, like I mentioned earlier, they couldn't hire a basketball
That doesn't
coach.
matter, though. It's the here and now we're talking about.
Huh?
The here and now is what should they do next? It's not they couldn't, they this, they that.
They're not going to do anything. I talked to the president.
No, they're not going to do anything for next year.
One more year to see what he can do. They're not going to fire him.
Okay, what has been, do you think, Trent, obviously all you have to do is point to the record. He went to the NIT only with Tubby's guys, and since then it's been a disaster. What do you think has been the problem? Has it been not recruiting enough talent, or has it been the character of the kids he recruits?
Well, at some point in time, you want to be able to build upon some early success, and when you don't bring the talented players in, it makes it harder for you to take the next step. Many people believe now going forward with this new recruiting class coming in, he will have the type of talent maybe over the next year or so, maybe 2 years, to contend and compete at the Big Ten level. So it's going to take him some time, if he's going to still be the guy in charge, to get the type recruiting class that he believes that he can win within the Big Ten.
Here's the problem, Mr. Tucker. The present NBA rule, which lets a kid after his freshman year to become a pro, it kills Minnesota, because the average kid is not going to go to Minnesota because he, like Duke or North Carolina, he's not going to get a pro offer after his first year.
That is ridiculous. Wisconsin doesn't have guys that are one and done. They either stay with the program.
Yeah,
in the middle of the
Wisconsin-
year, they change coaches and they win 11 Big Ten games. You can't say that. Wisconsin wins and wins and wins without that.
But they have one guy going to the pro in the last 4 or 5 years.
Wisconsin's had several guys out of last year's class, and they come back and they win, 12 games in the Big Ten?
I don't know. People don't want to go to this school.
Okay,
man.
Jim, Minnesota versus Wisconsin. Why has Wisconsin had so much success and Minnesota not?
Well, you have to go back a number of years. There's a book written about it. You probably read it. Rick Thielander wrote a book a few years ago called From Red Ink to Roses. And he talked about when Donna Shalala came to Wisconsin, she hired Pat Richter, who hired Barry Alvarez. Those three people turned that program around in Wisconsin. Back when we were in school, maybe when you were here, Trent, Wisconsin was a doormat.
Non-factor, weren't they, Trent?
You're right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they turned that whole thing around. And that's what it takes, is the right people in the right places. We've gone almost a year now without an athletic director. It'll be a year in August.
Here's your problem.
Well, there's one of the problems. How can you go a year without having an athletic
I
director?
give up. I don't well, we'll talk more about that when we come back. Stay with us on the Sports Show.
Hey, Kane.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Cambria, makers of quality quartz surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. RSM. This is the power of being understood. This is RSM. BMW of Minnetonka. Choose from 60 certified pre-owned BMWs at BMW of Minnetonka. And Bobby and Steve's Auto World. Go to BobbyandStevesAutoWorld.com for huge savings on everything from convenience store items to everything under the hood of your car.
Most weekends only last a couple of days. Some last a lifetime. Hampton, we go together. Book at Hampton.com to get a guaranteed discount.
Chance is a beautiful thing.
An odometer under 15,000 miles and an up to 5-year, 75,000-mile warranty makes it elite. The way it does this makes it a BMW. Introducing BMW Certified Pre-Owned Elite.
Choose from 60 certified pre-owned BMWs at BMW of Minnetonka.
Looking for a nice, big, juicy rack of ribs?
Fabulous chops, huge steaks, and the Buddy Bowl? Then J.D. Hoyt's is the place for you. Hoyt's opened in 1983, and Mike Andrews and his partner John White have kept this Minnesota tradition at the top of the food chain. Managing owner Pat Montague gives us a tour.
At J.D. Hoyt's, enjoy a relaxed atmosphere, great food, friendly service, private dining room, second to none happy hour, just blocks from the new ballpark.
Located at 394 in North Washington. Locally owned, nationally known. Hoyt's.
Coming downtown, stop by J.D. Hoyt's Supper Club, chop steaks, seafood, and so much more. Going to a Timberwolves game or anything else, J.D. Hoyt's in downtown Minneapolis. Great conversation we've got going on here about the University of Minnesota and the status of. Jim, we were talking before the break about what Illinois did. The athletic director comes in and...
They hired, by the way, they hired a football player from Illinois that had been there, just like Michigan did. They hired a guy that was an M-man, which we've encouraged President Kaler to do here, to get a Minnesota Gopher player or a former player to be the athletic director. But Illinois, like Trent was just saying, Illinois hired an athletic director. He fired their football coach, who had just been signed to a 2-year contract.
First day he got there,
he fired him, and then he hires Lovie Smith, a big name. Whether Lovie's a great coach or not, I don't know, but he's got a good name. He'll recruit. He'll change the whole image for Illinois, and they did that all in one fell swoop.
So, Trent, if you can get Lovie Smith to come to Illinois, now granted he's looking for a job, but he's got enough money that he doesn't have to take a job. Minnesota can do something in their programs as well, correct?
When you bring in, you know, high-profile individuals, all of a sudden now it begins to change the face of your program. You know, people identify with somebody like a Lovie Smith or Jim Harbaugh. And when you talk about competing in the Big Ten at the highest level, you're going to need someone that can come in, move your program in the right direction, but also bring in the type of players that can put you at the top of the ladder.
They had one guy here, and they could have kept him forever. Lou Holtz was a perfect guy. Let me tell you a story you guys might not know.
We probably know because you probably told it 8 times, but go ahead.
He's going to have a second heart operation. He goes to Holtz and says, I want you to take over. I'll just be an assistant. And we had a guy named Vice President. He would have taken that job. He'd still be here, but they wanted a search committee before they hired Holtz. And that's been the story every year. They can't hire anybody. They make mistakes. Somebody can straighten that out. Who it is, I don't know.
Well, Jim, give me a couple of answers. Bob Stein, Pete Nigerian, there's a couple of men that, what do you think?
I think either one of those guys would be terrific. Bob Stein's my age. He was my roommate in college. He's a year older, so age may be working against Bob. But Sid is so right. We haven't been able to hire good people, and the talent pool for the next athletic director and the basketball coach and the hockey coach may not be great because people aren't wild about coming to a situation like we've got here at Minnesota right now. But having said that, if we can make a really good hire for the athletic director, that person, like Pat Richter and Barry Alvarez in Madison.
Because Richter sounds like Nigerian to me, you know?
Or Stein.
In,
Richter, real smart guy.
Private business, came, you know.
That's exactly right.
But here's one thing. They always got to go away to hire these guys.
Why?
Here's a guy would have been a great basketball coach.
Absolutely.
Better than anybody they could have get. They won't do that. They won't hire a former Gopher guy like you say, Bob Stein would be a great athletic director. But they got to go some other place to get somebody who never makes it.
Take a break, come back. Plenty more to talk about. Stay with us.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Escape MSP, the fastest 60 minutes of your life.
Frank, same time next week.
When it drives and looks like new, you'll want to treat it like new. Certified pre-owned by BMW.
Choose from 60 certified pre-owned BMWs at BMW of Minnetonka.
You're watching CW-23.
Welcome back to the Sports Show. Mike Max, Trent Tucker, Sid Hartman, and Jim Carter making his debut performance. Like I said, man, with that kind of suit, I don't know if we can have him back or not. He's out-dressed in I don't know about that, man.
Nanny this suit.
Yeah, really. Lou's probably got a couple of those tucked away. What were you saying?
I love the Gophers, and to see what's going on over there is just unbelievable.
Well, Jim, Beth Getz, everybody that you talk to, I don't know her well, says great person, needs to be part of the team, maybe not ready for the athletic director role of the people that know. But they all like her. They think she's a key component, but this is a big job.
I like Beth. I spent an hour and a half with her yesterday talking about all these things. She's very, very smart, very capable. She will be an athletic director, probably in the Big Ten. I don't know if today's the right day for her at Minnesota. My worry with Beth is that what 4 simple things we need at the university right now. We need to establish a brand. We're in the best market we could ever dream about being, the Twin Cities market. We're the only Division I school in the state. It's a great place, but we don't have any brand. We have no tradition left. Since 1967, the football team has not won a Big Ten championship. There's no tradition really left. And we don't know how to treat customers correctly. Our game day experience is weak, and we need to be able to hire good people. Can Beth do all those things? I think eventually, but I don't think right now. I think we need somebody that can come in like you were talking about, Lou Holtz, or somebody, a Lovie Smith, somebody with some oomph and excitement and not afraid to take things on and tell the truth and be transparent, hire some people and get these things done. I think that's what has to be. By the way, I hope Beth doesn't leave no matter what happens.
That's what everybody seems to say. Sounds like you're talking about Donald Trump. Bring him in.
Oh my God.
Make the university great. You got to say something again?
Every Big Ten school and every school of any magnitude has got a big booster club. I'm not talking about the football group they got. We got more 500 companies and top executives than any Big Ten school. And we don't have a booster club. I've been begging them, get a booster club. Get Mr. Davis from the U.S. Bank. Get the head of Target. Get the head of Wells Fargo. Get them involved in the program. That a kid meets them, they know if they go here, they'll get a job here. No, they won't do it.
But you know better than anybody, the way that starts is by winning. If we don't win, then you're not going to have all these boosters.
You can create anything you want off of winning.
I had a chat with Joel Maturi, who we talked about earlier. We all like Joel, nice man, but at the end of his tenure, I was sideways with Joel and told him I thought we needed some things different. I said, we've got to win. And he said, I want to win as much as anybody. It's more than that. It's not just wanting to win. You've got to win. You've got to feel it. It'll kill you if you don't win. We need to win first. Then we'll have people boosting.
Yeah, winning is very important. I mean, when you look at all of the top flight programs around the country and look at some of the places where they're housed, Alabama, Tuscaloosa, LSU, Baton Rouge. And when you talk about winning, people will come if you win. And it's easy to attract some of the big name people when your programs are doing well.
Trent, here's a good example of what happened. I'm down in Florida with Holtz. Notre Dame is playing in the bowl game. Barry Alvarez is his defensive coordinator. We're going to dinner this night, and Holtz calls me up. Take 1 minute. Holtz calls me up to his room, and Barry's there. Try to take the Wisconsin job. I said, you have your head examined. They hadn't won for years, but they got the right guy in Barry Alvarez, and all of a sudden they start winning.
That's what
we've been saying the whole show.
The right people. Yep.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Okay. Quickly, we'll go through some other sports here. Timberwolves last night shot 68%, the highest percentage of any NBA team since 1998. Trent, what do you like this team or not like this team? Because the night before they were awful against Milwaukee.
20-point lead.
Well, it's hard to decide which way this team is going to go right now because they're still so young.
But do you like them in 2 years?
I don't know yet, but you like some of the young pieces. You like Karl Anthony Towns, you like Andrew Wiggins. Zach LaVine is starting to show what he can do. You know, Gorgie Jang has also improved as the season has gone along, but you talked about this team has shown a lot of inconsistency against some of the teams that we thought they should be able to beat throughout the season, and they haven't shown that consistency yet.
Okay, Vikings, let's move through this. We can leave some time for state tournaments at the end. Jim, you're an ex-Green Bay Packer. Mike Zimmer, how does he strike you?
I think he's terrific. I think he's a player's coach, which means he's tough and firm and yet fair. From what I see of him, I don't know him. I think he's the right guy for the job. I think he's turning things around.
What's the key for him to take it to the next level? Is it just about getting a receiver, or what is it?
You know, I don't follow it that closely, Mike, to be honest. I don't know the answer to that, but he'll figure it out. He's a good coach. He'll figure it out.
Without a doubt, he is the answer to the Vikings situation. If the university could find somebody like him to be running the program.
And you're right. And what makes you sick about that is the guy waited till he's 58 years old to get a job. It makes you realize how many guys there are that are pretty good out there that they haven't found. Take a break, come back.
If you guys could go on a free shopping spree anywhere, where would you go? I'd go to the grocery store. Pizza, ice cream. I'd go shop for clothes. You know where I go? I'd go to Ticket King. Ticket King! At Ticket King, you can buy great seats for the Vikings, the Wild, the Timberwolves, and of course the Twins. We love the Twins! Yep, this is where I go. Vikings, Twins, Wild, Timberwolves, Gophers, theater, and concerts too. For details, go to TicketKingOnline.com. Any ticket, anytime, anywhere. It's the real thing. It's Ticket King. Right, Dad?
Couldn't have said it any better myself.
That's for sure.
Take every step without hesitation. Anticipate your next move with certainty. Because our trusted advisors help you prepare for challenges specific to your business. Our focus is always on you, so your focus is always forward. Experience the power of being understood. RSM, Audit, Tax, and Consulting for the Middle Market.
You're watching CW-23.
Welcome back to the Sports Show. Trent Tucker, state tournament's coming up. Minneapolis North is in. Great time of the year.
They should have a chance to go all the way. They're very talented. They're well coached by Larry McKenzie, so I'm hoping that this is the year that North High can bring home the state title.
I saw the Waseca coaches last night, maybe the most incredible game played in Minnesota basketball history, 103-100.
It was a fun game to watch, wasn't it?
Yeah. Jim, state tournaments, the hockey tournament last night, Wayzata wins it all, Hermantown wins it all. Jim in St. Paul, you grew up there as a hockey player.
You bet. The state tournament is so different now, Mike, than it used to be. I mean, the kids now play so, you know.
So year-round.
Yeah, it's amazing. I have a grandson that's 8 now, and he's been playing for 2 years already with the uniforms with his name on the back.
Yeah.
The whole works. I didn't start skating
Is that
until
good
I
or
was
not,
12.
quickly?
My opinion, no, but
Yeah.
that's just me.
Mine too, but the horse is out of the barn.
Yeah.
And finally, Sid Hartman, look into that camera when we move down to Sid on Sid and pontificate about anything of what you would like.
The region's got to get together with the president, and they got to get that university thing straightened out. It's in terrible shape right now. 72 years I've been covering the University of Minnesota, and he'll tell you, even way back when he was there, and it's never been as bad as it is now.
Jim, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Hope you'll do it again for us. The Sports Show, you heard it from the experts. See you back here next week, everybody. Have a good week.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Cambria, makers of quality quartz surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. Escape MSP, the fastest 60 minutes of your life. RSM. This is the power of being understood. This is RSM. BMW of Minnetonka. Choose from 60 certified pre-owned BMWs at BMW of Minnetonka. And Bobby and Steve's Auto World. Go to BobbyandSteve'sAutoWorld.com for huge savings on everything from convenience store items to everything under the hood of your car.